Guys, welcome to a fresh new episode of Can I Kick It with your boy, Owlex Ray, and one of my oldest and bestest friends, Kylor Shields, man. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm super stoked about what we're here to talk about because I was sort of involved in the creation of it 3 years ago. The Electric River Jam coming up June 10th at the Spirit of Vincennes Rendezvous Grounds, put on in part by First City Music Festival, but also by Kylor Shields, Michael Robinson, and Victoria Robinson, as well as many other people. I can't go down the whole list.
Right, yeah, no, it's a group effort for sure.
Yeah, you guys are the hub, though, for sure. I mean, that's so you want to talk a little bit about how this kind of started, because First City already had their jam going on, their Bluegrass Fest, and then they thought, essentially, like, we need some rock, right?
Right, so it was old Michael Robinson, my one of my partners, Pup Tent. I'll probably end up calling him Pup Tent anyway.
Yeah.
But Pup called me one night, said he was hanging out at Jeff's barn with Nash, and Pup was trying to talk to Nash and be like, hey, why don't you guys do more shows out there or whatever, you know? Nash was like, I don't have time, man, you know? He said, why don't you do one? And Pup Tent was like, huh.
He kind of took it seriously.
Yeah, and Nash was like, yeah, seriously. He's like, see if you can find anybody that wants to help you, whatever. And Pup Tent called me and was like, hey, man, you want to try to help me put on a rock festival? And I was like, that sounds fun, dude.
It coalesced beautifully. Yeah. I just couldn't believe when I was there that first year. Well, for one, it was sweltering, you know, like hot as hell, but that tends to kind of get people riled up in a good way, I think. Everybody was ready to go. But then what's interesting is at the Spirit of Vincennes Rendezvous Grounds, you have natural shade.
That's what I was going to say, not to scare anybody off, because the stage is literally, I mean, there's damn near just like a canopy of trees right in front of the stage. It really is a perfect
It goes
setup.
all the way back, and it's sort of like an obstacle course of cool trees, old growth. Yeah. And, man, it's just a great spot. A lot of fellowship that we don't usually see too often in Vincennes when everybody's going about their 9-to-5s.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, man, so because I know you and I was there, I remember we were standing there that first year and you said, I can't believe I'm in charge of this. But that's not true, though, bro, because you put on so many shows before this back in the day. You want to talk a little bit about your history?
I did a few shows. I was always into the punk scene in high school. Right. Really enjoyed that, and I had buddies that played, and started kind of go over to Lawrenceville. They had the Shelter House shows, I think, and
the
some
Mayor's
stuff
Palace,
like that. But I booked a couple shows there, I think, maybe, but there was some partying going on there, and they found some beer cans and things of that nature, and I received a letter that said I was no longer allowed to rent the venue. That was kind of the end of it, but no, I had a little bit of experience. I enjoy that the booking part of it. I like reaching out to the bands and kind of getting to put together a lineup and build it, and
it's like a live playlist.
Yeah, but I'm blanking on the word, but some curator.
Curator.
That's kind of curating a
keeper,
curating a lineup for a show, or like what bands would go cool together, what sounds would be cool together. I like the contrast, I like similarities, but kind of piecing that together. That's fun to me. Yeah. That's fun.
It is interesting. It's almost it felt to me like I was helping assist the art to be born, right? And then also. People probably don't say this too often, but I just love the meeting people part of it. I love meeting new people, and everybody's united in a common bond. It's just really community building experience that has a lifespan. You know? So what are the differences between how it used to be when you put on shows when you were a teenager to now? Obviously, you have regular life to tend with. Yeah,
it's a lot tougher now. I'll say that. Yeah. 2 kids and a regular old job and stuff like that. But mainly that, really. And also, I know a lot more people now that are in bands, that know people in bands or whatever. I mean, networking is just monster, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't play anything. I don't do anything. I don't have any art that I do myself. So I kind of like, being around it and being in the middle of it and kind of bringing that together.
Well, you were always that guy anyway in high school. You were the guy with the new bangers that nobody knew about. And this is pre-Spotify. This is, remember listening to CDs in the car, cruising around. You were always the king of that, man. You're always the king of vicarious thrills. And I think this is a perfect fit for you.
Yeah,
you and Pup, and
right.
V. Yeah.
Well, it's a good team because Pup Tent, he's kind of the hands-on guy. He's like the day of, they're set up the day before, that kind of stuff. He's driving the tractors. He's moving the tables.
Yep. He's a farmer through and through.
This goes here. This goes here. I couldn't be any less helpful in that department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's kind of the hands-on, let's get it done guy, and I'm kind of the let me make some phone calls, let me talk to some bands. You know what I mean? That's kind
cool
of it's a good dynamic though.
Yeah, when everybody starts finding their groove inside the group. Yeah,
right. And Victoria keeps us organized.
Well, yeah,
we would. Yeah. I mean, it would be you know what I mean. She keeps track of numbers. This is what we did last year.
Yeah.
This is the list from last year. Who do we want to keep? That blah blah blah. That's not my bag.
All right.
That's not my bag at all. So we got a nice little 3-part dynamic going on. And it's working.
Wagon wheels, baby. It's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my next question for you would be like, when that first year happened and you're standing there looking at kind of like what you created, what's going through your head? Peak show. Are you watching the show? Are you were you able to even enjoy the music?
You know, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to, and I'm trying to think back to the first year because last year was a little more fresh.
Yeah.
But no, I do remember at one point being like, I'm not having to do that much. Like we had done a good job of getting the right people, involved and doing their thing, and we kind of you assign everybody their own stuff, and it's gone unbelievably smooth the first 2 years. So no, I really did get to enjoy myself. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that worry in your head of is people sneaking in? Is anybody too drunk? Is there,
there's a couple of those,
is that guy getting big and going to start something? I
was standing by the back gate that first year, and the cops just kind of walked up out of the shadows.
Yeah, we usually get a visit.
Yeah, they're like, we're just walking through, checking the place out. But I was like, no worries, man. I was like, I'm part of the crew, and they said, we know.
Yeah. No, they stop. They usually stop by.
No problems.
No,
they didn't have any problems. They were just there to help.
We've not had any problems. No. I mean, last year,
pretty peaceful event. Yeah.
Last year we had some people kind of sneaking in after dark. You know what I mean? But you're gonna have that. We the grounds are so big, and it's gonna be tough to. But
it's those goddamn hippies.
We got Pup Tent kind of had that under control. He was flashlight. I think he took a group of 10 people back to the gate
and a net gun.
Yeah, learned their money. Yeah.
We should get a net gun and catch sneakers in her and then just hang them up in a tree.
That would be fun.
That way when people walk by, never again.
Put them on display. Yeah. Away from the stage though, so let's get
right. Yeah. We'll put earplugs in them.
Yes. Yeah.
So what can you tell us about this lineup this year? I mean, how is it different than the past couple of years, and what are you most excited about?
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I don't know. I'm excited about all of it. I'm just stoked to see it. I'm stoked to see Memory Motel ripping some of their new stuff I haven't heard yet.
They're coming out hard, dude. They really are.
I'll just kind of run through the lineup real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this year we're having back Cody Williams. Cody Hagen Williams.
Always
he's going to kick things off with a little. Yeah. I mean, he's a staple. He's got to be there. It's kind of a different thing because he's not electric per se, right. but he's very much got a rock and roll attitude, and kind of the tunes he plays may sound country, but there's a lot of
like
grit
folk
and rock
with
to that.
9 volts.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then let's see, we got a first time band. I think this will be their first time out. Is Way Down.
Oh, right, yeah. Jimmy Wilkins and Keenan Delph.
Yeah. So
talented cats, man.
Yeah, so they're coming out this year, which I'm stoked about. I've heard nothing but good things.
They were on this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
I had them on one time. They were great.
Cool.
Yeah, real reggae kind of vibe.
That's kind of what I heard. Like nice summer jams. Sounds
there you go. That's a
nice
good way
summer
to put
jams,
it.
It sounds like.
It's beach music almost. Yeah. And Jimmy's multi-talented. He's got skills, and man, he can play piano. He's real good. I would say his best musical ability would be loop pedal. Yeah. His loop pedal game is disgusting. He can just freestyle for
I've heard
hours.
I mean, I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm stoked to see that.
Yep.
Then we've got Cage Willis returning from last year, and this he's blowing up. He's I think last night or tomorrow or something, he's been opening for Foreigner. Like, he's been on tour with Foreigner.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been for I don't know, the last month or so. But but he's wrapping that up. But I mean, that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? That's pretty fucking cool.
Blessing us with the River Jam appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was there last year, and he put on a killer set. His stuff's great. He's awesome at what he does. So I'm stoked to have him back, and that should be cool.
He's a carpenter. I talked to him, and I was like Jesus? And he's like Jesus. He's way laid back. Yeah,
he just looks like a rock star, dude.
Yeah,
he's got that swagger on stage. Yeah, he's
Chris Cornell type shit. Yeah.
And then another first year band, the Randys, which I'm stoked about. They've been around making noise for a while.
They're the only indie band in the area that I know of. Right, I mean they've got a unique indie sound.
Yes,
if you want to talk about indies, the genre.
Right. And
songwriting ability. I always thought it was crazy you don't see more female singers around here playing out. Yeah. But it's just not. It's sort of a rarity to some degree.
No, but I'm stoked about that, and I know there's going to be folks coming out just to see them.
Oh,
I mean, it's going to be a nice addition. Nice addition, good dynamic with their sound. With what we have already, I think it'll be good. And then there is Home by Dark.
All right.
Home by Dark, the new Leaving Knox, I guess.
Yeah.
Members of Leaving Knox.
Broke off and shook it up like a Yahtzee.
Yeah. And I talked to Jared Lee, who is sitting in on bass with them, I think.
Or whatever he wants.
But I mean, whatever they need him to do, really. Yeah. But
utility player.
He said he did a practice with him, and he's pretty stoked about it. So groovy. I take his word. You know what I mean? The guy knows a thing or two.
What's up with the campfire deal? Are we doing that again, or
Big D's coming back?
Groovy.
Yeah, Big D is definitely coming back.
I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah. He said, as long as you're inviting me, I'll be there, dude.
Yes, sir.
I mean, what else would we do?
Man, he's such a grandfather to the whole scene. What little scene there is, you know. But he's like he's tending to the younger musicians. He's happy to play with them. He even lets strangers on stage sometimes to just play with them, crowd pleaser. Yeah, 100%.
He always gets kindle up for the Alice in Chains jams.
Hell yeah,
dude. Which is killer.
They both got Big the hair going.
I can't think of any other way to close the festival out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just perfect. That's what he does.
Well, I mean, everybody knows him in all areas around here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to get him back on sometime.
It's definitely the late night party vibe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So dude, I got to ask you about this. So this is sort of serendipitous moment. So the first year we were starting the River Jam, and you accidentally sideswiped a car, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it was what the time frame was.
It was like a month before the River Jam, maybe 2, and you weren't quite sure if Big D was. Do I have this right? I can't remember. This is hilarious though, but it turns out to be Big D's mom's car.
Yes. And yes, it was at the Big D residence.
That's wild.
Yeah, of all people, and definitely hit it. And I pulled over. I was like, well, here we go. Went and knocked on the door. Nice lady answered. Hollered for somebody else.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. It was the man himself, Big D, but he was very cool. He was very he was very grateful that I stopped. He said people don't stop a lot. They live on a busy street, things like that. But no hard feelings, and he was kind enough to
that kind of helped
come play anyway.
Book him. You know, I mean, that in a weird way, you guys started communicating more because of that.
Yeah, we know he's been around forever. Yeah. We're both Packers fans, so we get a lot of chatter about that. You know what I mean? So. But no, it didn't blow it by any means. He was very cool and very understanding, and
he closed it out big time. It was just me and him left at the very end of that first year, and I started cleaning up because I didn't want to do it in the morning. Yeah, that was a great time, man.
Oh, I do remember. Yeah, you got a lot done.
I got most of it cleaned up.
That was killer.
The community service guys showed up and they're like,
there's nothing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about.
Fire back up.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Miss somebody.
Sorry to make cut.
No, you're good. You're good. And then we've got Joe's Last Stand coming back, which I'm stoked about. They've been there.
Old school punks.
They've been there every year so far. Bob Kemp, local music guy, just staple of the town. They bring a real cool energy, dude. I just call it punk, but there's some metal aspects.
It's hard driving.
Yeah, it's just good rock and roll music. Yep. All original, you know what I mean? They're doing their own thing. They're coming out with their songs.
Yeah.
But I'm super stoked about that. And then to wrap it up on the main stage is Memory Motel. I think they're going to play 90 minutes maybe. That may be a little whatever. I told them, I was like, if you're feeling it.
So they have 2 albums now, right?
I don't think they put the second one out.
Oh, they released a single.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
yes. And I think they're going to be doing a lot of that new album that hasn't dropped yet, so I'm super stoked about that because I've not heard any of it.
Motel coming up hot.
But yeah, I mean, they're going to, you know, if you've heard them, you know they rip. They're going to rip. Yeah. So I'm stoked. And then we've also got the second stage going this year again. So in between the main stage sets, we've got mini sets on the side stage. It's half hour, 40-minute sets, whatever. Fun Guns are coming back this year, which they're just always a blast. I mean,
it's a party.
Yeah, I think Ian maybe mentioned Joel and Justin and Steve doing some stuff they used to play when I think maybe I can't remember their band name now.
Going into the Wayback Machine.
But yeah, just hopping up because they've got 3 sets through the day, so they got 3 half-hour sets. So he was saying, you know, we might mix it up and figure it out. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm super stoked.
Joe Cocker-esque.
And poor Joel's playing every set on the side stage because he's in both bands. So Joel Norris, you're the man.
That'd be funny if they called him Poor Joe.
Because so we've got the Fun Guns, and then the Honky Donkeys will be the first 2 sets on the side stage, which is Jared Lee, Luke Cody, and Joel Norris.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, so there's nonstop music, and the side stage bands are just absolute rippers. You're gonna get punk and some Dwight Yoakam covers out of the Honky Donkeys, and then the Fun Guns do what they do. It's like just a party when they're playing. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
BLT, Hold Tomato.
BLT, yeah,
he's coming solid. Back. He's a wild man.
Yes, he is. That's gonna be a fun time though. I'm stoked about that.
So beyond all this, I kind of wanted to talk to you personally. Like we're talking about the festival and showing the lineup, but what is one of your first memories of music as a kid? Do you remember maybe spending time with your mom and listening to some vinyls?
I mean, there's a few, like, I mean, 90s country was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, so, I mean, riding around in the car with mom, it was like just banger after banger.
Before Toby Keith.
And,
got all serious.
Right. Yeah. Garth Brooks fanatic.
Yeah.
You know. But then on the other side of that, I had my brother who was buying East 1999, the Bone Thugs CD. Right. So we had that, which is still one of my favorite albums. Absolutely great album. Yeah. But then, you know, he had Dookie. You know, I mean, so that stuff like stuck with me more. I remember listening to the country and stuff with mom, but you know, the stuff my brother was listening to was obviously cooler. Right. You know what I mean?
Older brother,
But my like real obsession started. I remember it was in 5th grade. I watched the Behind the Music of the Doors, and I was not aware of them at all. You know, I mean, I was a 5th grader, had no clue who they were or anything. And just became infatuated. Like, I was obsessed. Like, everything was the Doors after that. Not everything. Like, mom bought me a patch. I put it on the back pocket of my jeans. Like,
your parents were super supportive of your art and music intake. They're great. I love them.
They probably get more concerts than I do. Like, I have 15 concerts between now and October 31st, and I think they're outdoing me this year.
You saw Billy Strings, 4 times this year?
I've seen 4 times this year. Yeah. But, no, but the Doors started it, and, you know, then, of course, I got into the whole 70s or whatever. But I remember just being completely obsessed with the Doors.
What do you think it was about Old Jim and the band that just so foreign, maybe?
Just so radical, dude. Yeah. I think the same reason that I gravitated towards punk so much, that it was just like, my personality's not really like that. I'm not a real crazy, spontaneous, wacky guy to hang out with.
It's just new exotic land.
Yeah, that doesn't fly off the handle. So I think it's kind of like a vicarious thing where, you know, I love the punk energy, and I love the craziness and all the shows that go to hell and the people fighting each other and breaking shit. Yeah. But I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. That's just what I like. But I think probably similar reasons for me getting into the Jim and the Doors, like, just a wacky dude, man. You know what I mean? I didn't understand it. I liked it.
Yeah, he's an interesting character because his dad was a Navy admiral. Yeah. And he sort of just disappeared from his family unit and just kind of went to film school out in L.A.
Got weird.
Yeah.
Got real weird.
You got the acid in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a wild time. And
I remember
his poetry is actually amazing. It's like some of the best poetry I've ever read.
I used to have them all on CD, I think. I can't remember.
I've got books and books of his stuff.
But there's a biography about him called No One Here Gets Out Alive. Yeah. And I read it. I think it was in like between 5th and 6th grade. But just so many like interviews with old girlfriends about how he would just like humiliate them in public. Like it was like, you know, to him it was probably like an art installation or something, but he would just cause a scene and start screaming obscenities on the bus and like
he was testing the borders of common, I don't know, morals maybe, or decency or something, because later on in his career,
and he might have just been an asshole too. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like,
I think there's an element of genius that sometimes lends itself towards people being unfeeling or like sort of over emotions, like they're above emotions somehow. Because I mean, I know a lot of smart people. I gravitate towards them as much as possible, and there's sort of like this detached nature to these people. So it makes me wonder why they're famous and they're like enjoying the throes of fame and they're living that rock and roll lifestyle. They're kind of like floating above it a little bit. Yeah. They're hardly even there for it. And so the fame inevitably doesn't mean much to them, and they become jaded and that's what happened with Jim Morrison. Yeah, that
makes sense. Yeah, he was definitely a loose cannon, but that's kind of when the obsession began. And then ever since then, it's like, that's all I like listening to or reading about or whatever, you know what I mean?
So then you had a short hip-hop career.
I did. Yeah. We did quite a few shows there for a while between
Funktown
Bradley's
Connection, dude.
Yeah, Bradley's and Cody hosted us quite a few times.
Yeah.
But we did some in Bloomington, a bunch in Evansville. We were always on punk bills. We loved it. None of the other hip hop guys that were like doing it super serious or whatever, like we didn't really jive on their bill that well.
Yeah.
But I was always had friends in the punk scene that were
that's kind of a strange dynamic, but I guess in the punk scene they're more open to expression.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that's why I'm drawn to punk, is because it's sort of anti everything.
Right.
I mean, by its very nature, it's just anti everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting older and I'm starting to like kind of lose my punk flair, but it might come back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not. I always tell people that my Uncle Rick, he got me into the Clash and the Ramones, and like got me into that stuff early. But he told me a story about going to New York later in his life. I think he was probably 40s or something.
Right.
But he went to CBGB while it was still open, and it was just him and his buddy. But if you know Uncle Rick, he probably had some like jean shorts on with the white T-shirt tucked in, whatever, just looking like a dad. And he had his camera with him, slinged on, whatever. But he said he was there at CBGB, and there was all the punks with their leather and stud and mohawks and all that. And he said, I was looking around, and I was like, I think I'm probably the most punk person here. Everybody else looks the same, and I don't. I was like, exactly. That's you know what I mean.
That's ironic. That's kind of punk.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah, kind of dope.
Yeah, it's like when the dad, like my brother Jake has kids now, and he graduated into the Monarchs. The Nike Monarchs with the grass stains on them. He just owns that shit, dude. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that's punk rock as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should just go down a list right now of all the things that are unusually punk as fuck.
No, I just joined some Facebook groups lately with punk, old school punk, and there's people arguing about what punk is all the time.
That's a cool forum. Yeah. You got me into Bad Religion on that note.
They rule.
And then come to find out that they're fucking. He's a college professor.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Greg Griffin. Yeah. Super smart dude. He's written many, many, many books, but I think he teaches like Harvard or something.
But you listen to his Columbia or something. Yeah, one of those. But if you listen to his music, it's so anti-establishment.
Yeah.
But he's embedded in the literal training grounds of the establishment. It's interesting.
And I don't know what class he teaches or anything, but he's definitely a free thinker of sorts. But so it's a strange dynamic to have him part of the education system.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna change the system, you could rebel against it vaguely and never get anything done, or you could get in there and get your hands on it. So that's admirable, man.
Yeah, take it down from the inside.
Yeah. So what can I ask you? What are some of your ambitions in the future for the River Jam, if any? Or are you trying to keep it status quo?
I mean, I don't know. I've thought about it a bunch, and I've had more ideas, but I don't really know. I don't want to force anything. So I'm just trying to. I'm a real go with the flow guy. Yeah. You know that. Like, first 2 years have gone well. I think we hovered, 450 through the gate, something like that. But we've done well the last 2 years, as far as I'm concerned. Like, but I'm kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you know what I mean. But I know if we just keep doing what we're doing, it's just we're just going to reach farther and further and have more possibilities, and I'm torn on this thing where it's like, at first it was like a local thing. So I want to do all local everything. But the more it grows, I'm like,
seeing new potentials.
Yeah, I could reach out a little bit, but we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm
healthy management of expectations for me has ended up being one of my greatest sort of bullet points. To my philosophy on life, like a healthy management of expectations. And they said something to me in the Army that always stuck with me. They said, "Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast." And you live that mindset. You've always been like that. So I foresee nothing but good things for the River Jam. Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with my man, Biggie Smalls. Hey guys, welcome back. We had to see a man about a horse. I'm sitting here again with Kylor Shields, one of the founders of the Electric River Jam, a 501c3 non-for-profit event put on originally for fun, but also for a good cause. Can you tell us a little bit about that good cause?
Yeah, so, well, I'll go into it like this. So, previously I mentioned a friend Nash approaching Pupton about the festival.
Nash Dunn.
And he and a buddy, Jeff Deckard, have this really cool nonprofit, First City Music. And so what our festival is we are a nonprofit, so we make money off this festival. Some of it goes back into putting next year's festival on, but we also donate towards a arts scholarship for VU, the local university, in the name of Evan Twitty, who's a young man that passed away a few years back in a car wreck. Unbelievable guitar player. The guy traveled all over, won contests for like bluegrass picking, stuff like that. Fantastic.
Young fella, too.
But yeah, so Electric River is involved with that, the donations towards that art scholarship. So it's kind of a
hopefully that
kind of a great. I mean, that's a great reason to do it. You know what I mean? It's a topic that will bring the community together because he was so well liked everywhere he went in our community.
Yeah, I mean, you got a party, you got a good cause, getting two birds stoned at once.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty stoked about the vendor situation too. I'm hoping to see more vendors kind of reach out to you guys and rent. It's the rental fee is not that much.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. And I mean, we keep it reasonable because we just want people to come out. It is a music festival, but I love all art, and we've had people come and sell their canvas paintings, things of that nature. Zane Odell. But I've had more people hit me up about selling their art this year, so we'll have a few booths selling some handmade stuff like that. And if anybody wants to get on, you can show up the day of. If contact me that morning, say, hey, I got some stuff.
There's ample room.
Plenty of room where we welcome just about anything being sold there.
Fire spinners, all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, we've got some lined up already. We've got food trucks lined up already. We're gonna have some pizza,
Whitaker's beef, right?
Whitaker's beef, Pizza Inferno, and then caloritas, I believe is how you pronounce it, but wrap salads, maybe some lighter things like that, I think, on their menu. But we've got it pretty much all covered. Burgers, barbecues, pizza. We've got snow cones, ice cream, a little bit of everything. And Willis Pub is going to be there slinging the drinks.
And
it's always a little warm that day, so,
need a cold one.
People like a cold one. People like a cold one. But yeah, we've got a pretty good setup of vendors, and we're always welcoming more non-food vendors. We've got that covered pretty well, but any kind of arts, any crafts, anything
variety
you got,
is the spice of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there was some people there last year, if I'm not mistaken, that were doing massage.
Yeah, I think there was, and Reiki as well.
Yoga, some Reiki healing. A lot of crystal vendors, like traditional hippie kind of cool
happy hippie
stuff.
shop. They're slinging all
Dan
the
and Chris, they kick ass. Dude.
Crystals, all that stuff.
Yeah, they just bring a really good vibe. Like I went and spent some time with them at the last year's River Jam, and they're just they're a power couple.
Yeah,
they're doing great things.
They support what we do, and Chris actually tie-dyes our crew shirts for us now.
Sweet.
So we order a bunch of white shirts, take them to her over at the shop, and she makes us look cool.
Yeah. So what do you guys think that we're going to end up having any rain this year?
We don't even talk about that. We didn't talk about that. We've had a couple run-ins the last 2 years.
That storm missed us. That's why I brought that up.
It has fortunately not shut the party down.
The storm came from Illinois side and kind of hovered on the border of the river.
Yeah.
Right behind the stage.
Yeah.
And it was just looking gnarly, and they were going to shut it down for a second, and then it just miraculously blew by, and I felt blessed for one.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of brought in some colder air, too, because it was stifling hot that day. And,
yeah, that feel nice. But man, we've dodged a couple bullets, so
it's a beautiful thing. Well,
knock on wood.
We've got tree cover, and we got people who are willing to play in the mud, so that's one thing. I think you wanted to let everybody know while we're here, interfacing with them, that it's a cash only situation.
Yes. Yeah, it just makes things a lot easier. Page, but I would also like to say it now. Yeah, we do. We're just kind of old school. You know what I mean? We're just a group of friends that are just doing this, and cash only seems to be the easiest way for us, and we're going to continue with that trend. So you'll need a 5-spot for your parking, and then $20 at the gate, but all cash. Kids 12 and under free. So that please, please, if you can somehow spread the word.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of people. A lot of places are cashless now. So I mean,
Yeah, I honestly, I'm behind you on that, on the cash only, just for the sake of I feel like central digital bank currency is not well thought out enough yet. I feel like that's a system that can be easily manipulated. So I don't think that was your intention or anything,
right.
Like being all fight the power. But there's nothing wrong with people getting paid in cash, or maybe even trades. I saw some people trading crystals and stuff last year for a bird whistle. So lots of cool little crafty stuff. Yeah. And we also want you guys to know that this is a kid friendly event.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously it's gonna get a little wacky about 10 p.m. So it could potentially. Party. It's definitely a party, but I feel like the kids are safe there.
There was a lot of kids there last year, dude.
They were having a blast too.
It was cool. It was cool to see. And my buddy Chelsea came out and set up representing Onyx Hair Studio. That's and she had, she was braiding hair, painting faces.
She painted my tattoo on me.
I think she had hula hoops out there, headband, light up headbands, stuff like that. Stuff that kids, they were loving it. They were eating it up. You know
Family
what I mean?
Event.
As soon as that sun goes down, you got the glow bracelets, all that stuff. Yeah, fantastic. So bring the kids. Kids are welcome.
Yeah, and also something that I'd like to stress, just being inspired by John Hartford Festival, bring your instruments. Hang out in the camping area.
Right.
Feel free to camp out, jam out.
Free camping. Come there, get your buzz, set up a tent, crash. We encourage everybody to stay if they can, if they need to.
I personally do a hammock. I've got a nice hammock, easy setup.
Yep.
And then I just wrap myself in a blanket at night in case it gets chilly. And I slept like a butterfly in the cocoon. It's beautiful.
Definitely keep in mind the free camping, even if that means bringing an air mattress in your trunk or whatever. Better safe than sorry. Can't camp in your car because we try to keep the vehicles on the grounds themselves minimized. You know what I mean? So we try not to do that. But other than that, you're welcome to stay. Absolutely.
Set up shop and come enjoy the river jam.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Kylor, do you have any, and we'll go out on this, do you have any words of wisdom for the younger folks who are watching this right now who may want to someday put on something like this, or, some pro tips, as it were?
Man, that's tough, because when we started doing this, it wasn't easy. I don't want to say it was easy. It wasn't easy, but knowing your strengths and weaknesses is huge, and networking and finding out, meeting people with a common interest that have other skill sets, you know what I mean, it really came together very naturally. Because like I mentioned earlier, Pup Tent, he's a farmer. He's got equipment. He can move stuff. He's got wood. We built our own side stage last year out of pallets and plywood. He does that. I had the networking with all that. But, Ski's out there helping, setting up, built little speaker stands, whatever. But it's just it's about the team you put together mostly. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. And then just...
don't be afraid to reach out to somebody you don't know.
And everybody involved, has that end goal. We want to have a good time. We want to listen to live music, have fun,
something to look forward to once a year.
But
when that's what's the most exciting about it for me is every year I know we got the the family party. Basically, is what it is like to me. Like, we're building a small community in Vincennes that's beyond, just a basketball game or eating at Bob's. Those things are great,
right?
But this is something we hope to be a legacy,
right?
As much as I'm involved, but
even just like within my group of friends, we're getting older. People got kids. We don't hang out. We used to hang out like 3 times a week, whatever. Yeah. Doesn't happen anymore, but every year so far, it's been like a reunion of sorts. Like, anybody you want to see is coming out. Like, it's just, it's a very cool reason to get together.
There are some people that I know exclusively through these shows. And they've actually, I see them out in the community, like Tyler Brown or Matt Little, Jeff's crew. Those guys are super great dudes that wouldn't have met them otherwise.
Right, absolutely.
And they're Fest family.
Yeah.
So that's
and
really cool.
Everybody's very supportive. I mean, it's just crazy to see, how effortlessly people come together to support each other and help when you're doing something like this. It's
I think
crazy.
Sometimes you just have to provide the canvas and people will paint, or insert metaphor here. But
right.
If you build it, they will come. How about that?
Yeah. But So I mean, it's just make things happen. Really, you know what I mean? Like we need the grounds we're using out there. I feel like there should be a show out there every weekend. Yeah. That's probably not plausible or doable, but it's such a beautiful grounds. The stage is fantastic.
Real historical.
Yeah, they built that brand new awning over the top to protect the bands. It's really great, and I'm just stoked to have the opportunity to use the grounds and to put on a show like that.
Right on. Well, we're gonna do it, bud. It's good to see you,
man. Yeah, you too, man.
Thanks for coming over to Can I Kick It finally. Actually, guys, Kylor was on the very first episode of Can I Kick It, way back when it was just me and a webcam. And boy, how we have kind of grown, and we're going to get him back to talk music because that was really
interesting. Back, chat.
Please do, dude. Anytime you need to promo something, we're all about helping arts and any creative pursuits. All right, guys, thanks for coming to Kick It. Peace.
June 10th, come on out.
June 10th, $20, cash only. Deuces.